Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to FunPop episode 60. Yeah. No, not 69, Psycho. It's just 60. Just a normal 60. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the show today. We're gonna talk some Loki. We're gonna talk also I did mean to talk about this last week and I forgot. I saw the Gran Turismo movie and also Blue Beetle, so kind of wanted to give some thoughts on those. I don't know if you guys had seen that yet.
No.
I have no interest either.
And then also maybe some speculation about the X-Men and Marvel. But also, it's October, so I'm gonna start talking about horror movies. And we're gonna get into. I want to get into some suggestions from the chat and stuff later. Because maybe I can convince all these guys to watch a movie and then we kind of like talk about it, 1 week, like maybe the week before Halloween.
Well, I don't know if you want to do like with chat like involved in that, but I would assume the easiest thing, since it's your audience's Xbox, would be that Texas Chainsaw Massacre from Game Pass. But
I've already seen that though.
oh,
I think I have. Which one is it that's in there?
I think it's the one that came out like 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's. Well, you know
Which
what?
one?
I take it back. We didn't finish it. We started it, and then we stopped because we were thinking that it sucked. Yeah. We stopped. We started that, and then we stopped watching it because it was really bad. So, I would vote against that one.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to get the audience more involved too. So
I get it. I mean, but do we really want to force the audience to watch a shitty movie?
I mean, you watched Blue Beetle, so.
Oh!
Okay.
All
right.
Zing!
Fair enough. Let's see what IMDb gives Blue Beetle compared to.
I think the critics loved it, but.
Well, IMDb isn't critics. IMDb is just user ratings. So IMDb gave Blue Beetle. Let's see here. Blue Beetle got from user score a 6.1. Not that high, honestly. I thought it'd be higher. And then let's see, Texas. This is out of 10, right?
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre probably got like a 4. I mean,
it got a 4.7, which is really bad. For IMDb, that's like really bad. Like if you're like above 7, you're good, right? You're good. In the high 6s, you're still good. 8s, great. Like some of the best movies. 8s, right? 4s, like 5s, you can have like, the fun movies. You know, like whatever. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. You get into the 4s, it's pretty much accepted as trash universally, and then below is just like unacceptable. So yeah, it's 4.7. Kate says pick something we haven't seen. Yeah, we'll pick it. And we'll think about it. We'll wait till the chat gets more here and stuff so we can get some audience participation. But yeah, what's up, Psycho? How are you doing, man?
I am doing fantastic. Been watching Halloween movies or horror movies. Been on a kick. I watched Beetlejuice. I watched. Started watching It today. I watched. What the fuck? I don't know. I forgot. I had it yesterday. I watched a couple movies. Sleepy Hollow and one other. But yeah, this is like one of my the fall winter months are like my favorite time of the year because you know October hits and then you got
it's getting cooler. It's not 1,000 degrees outside.
Yeah,
that's true, and it's we got Halloween coming up, then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. So great time to be around family and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, been watching a lot of stuff. Been playing some games and But it's interesting of that Loki series, and that very surprised that they had a little teaser at the end. I don't know if everyone saw it, but definitely
Was it after
interesting.
credits?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I turned it off when the credits started.
Yeah, well, normally they don't play after credits on TV shows until the very last episode. That's how it's always been, and for some reason,
Yeah, what year was that, Psycho?
What?
I'm gonna pull it up.
On the after credit scene.
Disney Plus.
Do you remember? It was 80s, right? Wasn't it like 87? Or 83 or 85, something like that? Did it say?
I don't remember. I watched.
Okay.
Loki
Alvin said
last week.
1982 Oklahoma. Thanks, Alvin.
Yes. So, very interesting. We'll
I
see.
do it on my TV. I don't remember the password on my computer.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I put the.
we may have some spoilers here, guys. You know, just like we're talking about
not so much
Loki, right?
spoilers,
It's a
but-
show, right? So, we
It's
recommend you
like
watch.
a recap. It's
Yeah.
not too much spoiler. So it's a recap of last season.
Yeah.
And, interesting things that are really awesome to see. That it's kind of pushing everything forward of what we know what could be happening in the MCU right now. So this is kind of pushing all that into play right now. So it's very cool. So
How you doing, Jasper? You're catching up on the after credits. You didn't see
Yeah.
the after credit scene?
I'm pretty sure I turned it off right when it the credits started.
Oh, okay. How you doing?
I always watch just because.
Yeah, I'm doing
Yeah.
all right. Played a bit of Forza. That's what I've been up to today. Just trying to catch up on the game that everyone played last week. Trying to get some cars. So if we do anything with it, but yeah, it's Forza.
Yeah. I was telling you before, like I had a moment like when I was playing earlier when the lighting was just like right at night with it was dark, you had fog, you had all the lights coming through, like, and I was racing in cockpit mode and I was in a Porsche, so I was racing really fast. And these fucking lights kept coming through the shadows and stuff. And I was like actually in a racing game, like legitimately had the sense of like fear that if I'm gonna crash, like I'm gonna die here, because like I was going so fast and I knew if I fucked up, it'd be like a crazy situation. But I was so immersed and the setting was so real with all the lighting and the way it looked and stuff that it was like it kind of felt like you're driving a real car, even though I'm just fucking holding the controller. It was really weird, man. I'd never had that happen in a racing game before. It's just kind of like, whatever. But it like sucked me in so much that I got that like sense of speed. You know what I mean? Like, to where it made me nervous. Like it was crazy. Anyway, this game is amazing. I know it's Forza, right? It's Forza. Yeah, but I'm absolutely loving it, bro. It was a spooky day, although for some PlayStation guys. It was. I'll say, like, for we're getting into that season, right? But we had a little bit of PlayStation showed their teeth. Again, they had another twist, I think, on and play on the community of we're kind of not having a price increase, but we are. Because
yeah,
we're phasing out the old, digital, bring in the new one. And then only upgrading the storage by 175 gigabytes, but then charging $50 more. Meanwhile, they're saving lots of money making these like on cost, right? Like that's the point of them doing this. It saves on cost, right? It's lighter for all these kind of things. So it was interesting.
Well, they're to that, Mav. They're getting rid of both. They're releasing
Okay, that wasn't really worth it.
They're releasing a disc version and a digital version, both slims, and So the disc is still 500.
Yeah.
But if you want it vertically, stand is sold separately.
And your old stand ain't gonna work for that shit either. I don't think.
No.
So, that's just interesting. Like they're not even including the stand. The
vertical thing doesn't even bother me. Like I wouldn't store it vertically anyway. So, but
well, I mean, I think a lot of people do because that's kind of how the console's designed is to be vertical. Like with the way it's designed. Every time they show it, it's vertical, right? Like that's the one thing that's kind of stupid to me is like they designed it to where in order to get it to stay upright, you either have to buy a separate stand, or if you don't, out of the box, you got to put this little fucking stiletto thing on it to make it stay upright horizontally. Like out of the box,
but it
doesn't stay like. They made a console that literally cannot stand.
Well, the funny thing is,
without assistance,
if you get the all digital, you can't lay it horizontal.
With the
where's the stand for that? There's no stand for the discless. There's no stand for it.
So
there's got to be.
Yeah, they got to have the horizontal stand.
There's
with that. Yeah.
I think with the thing with the little like clear clip thing or whatever is to make it look like it's floating, because a lot of like futuristic design stuff they like to hide like invisible stands and shit to make it look like it's floating. Like that's just what they do with a bunch of shit, you know. So
yeah, but
it's
if
probably
you put in a black cubby,
dumbass idea.
It
just looks
a
stupid.
black stand looks invisible too.
I'll just say like no point for anybody that already has one to get one of these, I think. And if you do are not still in the market for PS5, when you get one, you're getting a worse deal. So
yeah,
it kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
And if you want to get a disc drive for your digital, it's $80 sold separately.
Yeah.
And then a side note, if you live in Japan, well, they're about to raise all the prices for all the peripherals. Controllers, headsets, remotes, cameras, anything that's not a console is raising price in Japan. And are they going to raise prices globally once they see people are adopting to it?
Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing that.
I could rant about this stuff for a while, but let's get back into some Loki here.
For the payers.
So, Loki season 2, episode 1. We were kind of talking about it the other day a little bit, and y'all were kind of like saying, "Oh, it didn't really seem like an uneventful first episode, kind of to you or whatever." What is it that you would have liked to see differently with that? Like,
I mean, I don't know, but I just from what we had in this first episode, it was more of him just running around the fucking HQ for 30 minutes, disappearing and teleporting back. So it's like,
yeah. I think they're trying to set up like this whole time like jumping thing and like needing to try and fix it, and they're trying to figure out what they need to do now. Like, do they need to get rid of all the timelines, or they need to want to protect them? Right?
I think all the timelines are kind of merging into one.
Well, we know when they were sitting around the council thing right there, right? They were like, when I forget the lady's name, what they call her, but the lady that was chasing them mainly in the first season, so she was saying like we need to protect these branches because they're all like innocent people. That's all we are as well, right? So, but then there's also like Loki saying that if we protect those, then more that's gonna bring all the kings, right? So he was saying that they need to be pruned. So it's interesting to figure out where they're gonna go from here, right? And then I guess Sylvie is the one that, since she's the one that did this, and she's now in 82 Oklahoma or whatever, right?
She's in a. It said also in that I just watched it. It said an alternate variant or whatever, like a variant timeline.
Yeah.
So it's not like Oklahoma that we've know in the MCU. It's a variant.
So is
timeline.
this? Are they going to use this? You guys think to be able to merge like other timelines into the main timeline to create a different timeline of events that have happened in the main timeline? Like, you know what I mean? Because
I hate this.
hear me out though, right? Okay, so we saw there was somebody made a tweet about that showed the door to the chamber place that held the timeline stuff all up. It had like an X logo on it. It looked like the X-Men logo of the door to the
It looks like Cerebro Room.
yes,
The
yeah,
Cerebro Room.
Cerebro Room, yeah. So it looked like the X there. Yeah, Cerebro. That's how you say it? Cerebro,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Cerebro.
It looked like the X to the door to the Cerebro Room, right? So then, right, we know that X-Men lore, going to the X-Men show and all that stuff takes place in the 80s. Now you have a branching timeline, obviously, that Sylvie's in, right? What if the point of this Loki show is to set up the X-Men possibility, right? And the whole mutants and stuff going back to the 80s. And then if they do converge by the end of the season into one primary timeline, you kind of encompass like all these things merging together. So like then you would have mutants, you know what I mean, like in the same universe as the rest. Or they could just show Sylvie's world that she's in, and that's the one we start to learn about, and they create a whole branching universe that has the mutants in it, and they tell different stories there.
You mean that they could go back to, I don't know, 90s X-Men?
Yeah.
Could be setting up 90s X-Men live action, not the cartoon. So
could be
definitely, because there's also Easter eggs in Loki that suggests that Scarlet Witch is not dead, and possibly the Scarlet Witch is there's more to that 80s Oklahoma than it really.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if there's anything that actually happened in 1982 Oklahoma. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary besides normal Oklahoma shit, it seems. But apparently it's where Asgard went in the comics. Was Braxton, Oklahoma? Or so.
Really? That's interesting. Also, y'all remember at the end of Secret Invasion with the president basically saying they want to like get rid of all aliens or kicked off of Earth or whatever? Does that pertain to Asgardians as well? Because that's like they have New Asgard there.
Yeah.
And he didn't say Skrulls. He said all aliens.
The thing is, like, with the fucking Secret War show, or where the fuck it was called, the writing of that was so bad that none of it made any sense anyway. So I don't think the Marvel team even knows what the fuck that show's about to begin with. So I wouldn't count too much on what happened in that show.
Right.
Yeah, that show's fucking weird. It was like, I did not like that show. I thought it was gonna be way better than how it really went. I mean, like, we got a glimpse of the Super Skrull, and
that was so fucking stupid.
Yeah, and it was like, that's like, because all like Secret Wars sets up a lot of stuff and what they're trying to do in this, and it just felt like a nothing burger with that show. And I was like, oh, cool. We got some Skrulls, or kind of being hunted now because the president's like, fuck them, and then we'll see what comes of it. I don't know. And now we got the Super Scroll, which is Talos's daughter. Sorry, spoiler if you guys haven't watched Secret Wars, but I'll save you the agony of watching that. But it could have been a lot better. It could have been really set up a lot of things for the MCU timeline for the movies, and it just kind of like fell flat.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's interesting what they're gonna do with the whole ending there, about with like, hey, all aliens are kicked off, right? So I was looking it up, because somebody asked in the chat, is there any mutants from Oklahoma? And there is somebody by the name of Fire Fist.
Ooh, yeah, can't wait to get a show about him.
oh, isn't Fire Fist the kid in Deadpool 2?
Which kid?
What?
The kid.
The chick?
No, that's Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Rusty Collins.
Rusty.
Yeah, Rusty Collins is the name of.
Yeah.
Was he a character in Deadpool?
Yeah, Deadpool. It's the kid that fucking starts throwing fires from his hand.
Oh, at the beginning?
Fire Fist. He's like, my name is Fire Fist. And Ryan Reynolds, he's laughing. You know, it was like he was trying to hide fucking. He's like, I hid this in my prison wallet. It's like,
oh, okay,
right.
Yeah.
Fire Fist.
That's what this clip is from.
I think the mutant thing is a bit of a stretch because there's a lot of Asgardian connections to this Oklahoma thing. And
Right.
we're dealing with the Loki show, so I think it may be more Asgardian connections with the Oklahoma thing opposed to X-Men.
Fair enough. Okay, so even if it's Asgardian stuff, that's still pretty cool, right? Like, wonder where they're going with that. You know, we're gonna have to find out.
Apparently, I was just like reading some like comic stuff. That's where the battle between Galactus and Asgard took place, was in Broxton, Oklahoma, because that's where New Asgard was in the comics. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And since this is a variant timeline, maybe that's where the Asgard is located in that other timeline.
Correct.
Ooh, that's true. It could be. It could be like, an older.
Maybe like since Sylvia went back there, maybe that's where her Asgardian, since she's the female Loki in her timeline, maybe that's where the Asgardian for her timeline located, was in Oklahoma instead of in Norway or whatever the fuck it was in the MCU universe.
Right.
Yeah. Or in Maine.
Yeah. Main timeline.
The story's got my interest down right now. I mean, like, I don't know what's going on. They can use this to set up literally everything. It has ties to Kang, who's one of the main villains, obviously, in this whole story. So based
Spoiler
on...
alert. You can't say that. That's what I learned about the Spider-Man drama. You can't say who this fucking bad guy is.
But like, I was in Loki season 1. It told us at the end.
It's a spoiler alert, bro.
Yeah.
Well, if people haven't watched Loki season 1, I don't know. Like, it's been long enough to talk about season 2. And then now there's Ant-Man set that up and all these other things. So like, I feel like because this is about King and about like he's coming and all that stuff, like the warning that Loki's trying to do and stuff like that. Like, I feel like this has gotten me kind of really hooked into the story about what the hell's gonna happen, So I really enjoyed the first episode, actually, like, just because it's got me asking questions. And wondering about possibilities, right?
Yeah, I mean, the episode was good. It wasn't like,
it wasn't bad.
It wasn't like, oh my god, this like tells so much. But it wasn't like pointed like this is like pointless, kind of like Secret Wars,
Secret Invasion.
It was more of a filler episode, and
it was kind of like a throwback what happened last season, and then here's what's like here's what happens now because you know, is it Mobius?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mobius.
Mobius. He's just like who like it was introduced at the end of Loki season 1. You know, he was like Loki was like, you know, he's back, blah blah blah, and he sees the statue, and now this is like the interactions, and then they go to is it Obi?
Yeah.
Or
I don't know.
Ore Borea or something like that. But they called him Obi. Yeah.
Yeah, and like and it was just weird, like how because he was because Loki is right now is fractured. He's able to time skip, in his timeline. Well, no, the past timeline and the timeline he's at currently. So he can time skip in the past and to the present, pretty much. And it's just weird how they like had that interaction where he was in the past having the discussion with Obi, and then Mobius is talking to Obi about whatever, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, here," because Loki's having the conversation with him, and you know, mentioning things, and it's like it's happening. So it's like it was kind of neat to see that.
Oh, here I actually do have one right next to me. Yeah. Like the whole scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. And then seeing the actual timeline, how it's if you notice, it's fracturing, and as you can see down the line, it's still connected, and it's just like splintering off, and it's just crazy what that. I don't know if she's like the general for the TVA or who. But that's the bitch from the Eyrie in Game of Thrones. You know, where she was letting her son suckle on her teat when he was, you know, teenager. You know what I'm talking about?
You just went on a weird tangent.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying who that lady is, so people know who I'm talking about. So, because I forget her actual name, but but that she's like gun ho on trying to cut off the what do you call it, prune all the branches, because they need to save the timeline, but that's actually going to be not a good thing if they do that. So
but Loki seems right now to think it is, right? Like, because he's trying to prevent Kang from coming as well. So we're kind of like
pruning is not going to do that, though. That's the thing,
right? He's scared of Kang. Right, so what that Kang can do, so all those other ones. It's gonna be interesting to find out, like, where, because you can tell he's still conflicted, but he's like, he just wanted some time to think about the repercussions, but he knows now the decision was made and that there's tons of Kangs coming. Right, is pretty much what he's saying. So
console Kangs.
I think if anything, what this does is it opens up more for the actual Secret Wars side of things, because now that we have multiple timelines and multiple universes, when they do have that final battle in the Secret Wars, they can just pull from any universe or any timeline.
Yeah.
Even if a character dies, they can just, like, say Iron Man dies again, they can just go into another timeline and pull a new Iron Man out in the middle of nowhere and keep having battle, like, just keep the battle going.
Right.
So it's going to and see how that actually plays out on the larger scale of things for the MCU.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then if they have like the main timeline restored at some point, you know, like I don't know, like, well, this could be crazy to see. You know,
it's like a circle. You know, not like a square that has corners. It's like a circle and it has no.
Right. But yeah, it was I really liked the first episode. And look, it'll probably be one I won't wait on, like, to watch each week. I think I'll be like right there, because I think this show out of the other ones, I think, has the most like repercussions for what's going to happen in the MCU.
Correct.
Right. And that's what has me like the most interested.
Exactly, because we have mentioned numerous occasions that like right now with how they're handling the movies in the MCU, because they're kind of bouncing around because they got to introduce quite a bit of characters before Secret Wars and tie things up. So that's why, when Eternals, we kind of got Black Knight and Blade, and then he'll be back for Blade uh, during that. And then, where does Wolf by Night, where does that fall in? Does that fall into the Blade universe? Because a lot of the, with Secret Wars, if they kind of follow what the comics are a little bit, you know, they all band together to fight one evil. Who is that evil? Is it the Kings, or is it Galactus, or is it, or they're going to? Because I think it was Doctor Doom that had Battle World for the Secret Wars. So how is that? Like, where's Fantastic Four gonna drop into place? Because that's supposed to come out Phase 6? I think you were mentioning uh, two episodes ago on FunPop. You were mentioning going through the phases.
Yeah,
I think Phase 6 is when that comes out. So
That's why part of me thinks that like maybe this whole Kang shit is like they're playing the Kang as the main bad guy, but in reality there's gonna be like a twist where like Galactus or someone shit comes out at the last minute. It's like, I've been playing you all the whole fucking time. I sent Kang here to do this shit. It's just like the biggest fucking twist ever, and it's like I'm actually the big bad guy, motherfuckers, and like I don't know.
right. Could.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting how they're gonna handle all this, because they still got to, we know about Young Avengers, we know about the Dark Avengers, aka Thunderbolt Ross's team. We know, Fantastic Four is going to be in this. We know X-Men is going to be into this. We know, but is X-Men going to be like at the very end to set up the mutant saga for the next 10 years?
That's
so
what
we'll see how that goes.
I was watching some channels and stuff. That's what some of the like bigger like Marvel channels and stuff are speculating, that like they're gonna use like the last couple of movies, like the Secret Wars and stuff, to really set up like X-Men or mutants, and then take them into the next saga, which they're anticipating will be like the mutant saga, right?
Yeah, because we already know that Photon, aka Monica Rambeau, and she is Photon because I got the Funko at work, and her name's actually Photon. So it's cool to see that, we speculated this like fucking.
Was that ever speculation? I thought that was kind of known.
No, we didn't know what her name was.
Originally, the very beginning, we shouldn't have a name.
She was just Monica Rambeau, and everyone's like, oh, she's going to be Miss Marvel. And I was like, well, they're going to have Miss Marvel, and they're going to have Captain Marvel, and, they're not going to have... Miss Marvel is, what's her name? Kamala. So Captain Marvel, and because in the comics, she's Captain Marvel as well, but she's actually known by, like, quite a bit of different names, but I was like, well, it'd be cool to see if they go with Photon, and it looks like they're going with Photon. So, but how she got her powers is from a mutation going through the hex. So, will all those people inside the hex, now are they affected? And because all those people were not from that area. They are from wherever, and they were just, because of Scarlet Witch, now are they also been mutated? Now will those people set up the mutants, possibly? Like Dad.
I don't. Then also the other thing that never was really touched on, the blast that went into the air of the reality thing, and then Agatha Harkness was like,
yeah, there's so many events
know what you've done.
There's so many events that could have given people the X gene, or they could just do it like how the X-Men naturally were, where they already had the X gene, and then there's an event that caused that X gene to activate, and we don't know what that event's going to be.
I only mention this because with the House of M, where WandaVision kind of touched on the House of M aspect, was that she took away mutant genes, and all the mutants looked at Scarlet Witch as she is the enemy. But the twist is, how can you introduce the mutant genes in the MCU? Twist it to where the hacks or what she did.
I mean, they could do anything. Like, they could have been the snap. Could have gave people mutant genes. Like,
well,
anything.
that's I'm just saying what we've seen, and kind of like just going theorizing on what we have already have been watched and kind of consumed already. So I'm going with the whole House of M, and she kind of gave people mutant powers because Monica Rambeau got mutant powers. That's why I'm only going with it. It could be anything, but that's where I'm kind of going with that. And then it'd just be interesting to see how if that comes true, and then we'll know. Possibly in maybe Miss Marvel, we'll hear something about that. Maybe.
Yeah. There was a new trailer for the Marvels. Have y'all seen that one? It shows the villain.
Yeah.
Who is the villain? Do y'all know? Are you familiar with the character?
I didn't watch it, so
I don't know who it is, but it reminded me of Ronin. She had like the Ronin hammer. I was like, what the fuck is she doing with
she
that?
She kind of looked like she's wearing like what she was like Kree or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
I guess I mean she was the same race, so she would have the same weapons, I guess.
Right. So that would make sense. I'm just not familiar with the name or anything of that villain from the Marvels. It's interesting though. This trailer was better than the other ones I've seen. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was a Miss Marvel's trailer, but it only showed Captain Marvel like the entire time,
which was better. Exactly. So it made it seem like it's more of a Captain Marvel movie, right? Which is what I would rather it be than a Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau and the Captain Marvel team up movie. I'd rather it be primarily a Captain Marvel movie, right? With them kind of playing a part in it. Just because she's like one of the main characters. You know what I mean? And to me, like Miss Marvel and Photon and stuff, they're kind of like side characters, right? But like kind of like you would have, I don't know, like Captain America had a lot of cameos and stuff in a lot of those movies, but it was still a Captain America movie. You know what I mean? So anyway, interesting stuff going on there. I think Loki's gonna set some really cool stuff up, but we're gonna have to wait it out and see what's all gonna happen. Did you guys see the stuff about, speaking of Marvel and stuff, did you see the stuff about Disney maybe wanting to buy EA?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see about that. I don't know if
supposedly the board wants it or something. But
yeah, but do they really know? Like they just see the dollar amount that people.
Also, it's weird because Disney was in trouble and having to sell off a bunch of shit, so now they want to go spend $50 billion to buy fucking EA.
Yeah, but if they would get away with this because this is gaming, like this.
Yeah, I'm not saying they wouldn't get away with it, but if they were hurting for money where they were having to close shit down, and now all of a sudden you want to go spend $50 billion, like
Disney's huge. Yeah, they're not actually. Hurting for money. I don't think it's just like
the weird thing is that if they open up a new studio and start making games instead of licensing them out, are they gonna put the budget in and really see it through? Because you'll look at like these movies and they're ranging, and I guess they're almost $250,000 anyways. But if a game is going north of that, are they going to really push it through? But then, do you really want EA to be only focusing on Disney? I mean, to me, that would be horrible because I would not want Respawn only doing Star Wars stuff.
Well, that's kind of what they're doing now.
Yeah, but they still have. They're still going to make Timefall 3. They said they're going to. So
they
after, yeah, they said they came out like we're going to work on Timefall 3, but we're focusing on on what was
Apex,
it?
yeah.
The Apex shit, and like let that go through. And to me, I mean, I wouldn't want it like massive, because I think they have massive, right?
No, massive Ubisoft.
Massive Ubisoft.
Okay,
yeah.
massive Ubisoft. Then,
EA's doing. They are doing a Iron Man game. And
They're
they're
doing a Black Panther game,
and they're doing a Black Panther.
and Respawn's
game,
doing
yeah.
3 Star Wars games.
Yep. So they
Yeah.
are diving into this pretty heavy, but like they're still doing other stuff too. I mean, they have their sports franchises, they have their other single player games. I mean, they had the Dead Space remake this year as well. They still have their
And
indie kind of games they do too. Like lots,
Even if
lots
Disney
of stuff.
acquires them, it's not just going to be Disney's. Like, you have to make Disney IP. I think Disney's is playing it smart enough to where they realize they want to get in the game industry, and if EA wants to make whatever they want, then they'll still do that. Like, they're not going to just drop Madden into fucking soccer games because that makes billions of dollars. So
Yeah.
they're still going to make that shit. They're still going to make Battlefield. I think it's more so that Disney will have in-house studios now that they can make first-party games of their IPs if they want to.
Yeah. So this came from Bloomberg, actually. And I'm just quoting this person who shared this out. Noble Broet. So Bob Iger's deputies tried to push Iger in a new direction. They want Disney to become a gaming giant rather than licensing out their IPs. One way would be an acquisition like EA. Iger has been non-committal. So reading the excerpt says a couple of offers have been floated for Disney's TV assets. Byron Allen texted Iger a $10 billion bid for ABC and its other TV channels. While Nexstar Media Group, Inc. was in exploratory talks for the news network, but neither deal is likely to go through. ESPN agreed to a sports betting deal with down-market casino operator Penn Entertainment, Inc. that will pay Disney as much as $1.5 billion over a decade. For years, Iger insisted Disney couldn't get into gambling because of reputational concerns. Now it seems like one way to plug holes. Iger's deputies are pushing him to consider a bolder transformation of Disney from gaming licensee to gaming giant, though, say, an acquisition of Electronic Arts. But as with everything else, he's been non-committal.
And we know that EA's been wanting to sell. They've been shopping around the past couple of years.
Yeah. The reason they haven't yet is because they wanted to have creative control. They wanted to have control over the company. Whatever merger happens, because they've been looking for more of a merger situation. But they wanted to be in charge of the merger. They wanted to be.
And I don't think Disney would really give a shit too much what EA does. Disney just wants to have games under their banner. Like,
yeah.
So I mean, that could work.
It'd be interesting to see. The thing is, like, if that's the case, if you're not like, if you're just happy and then you kind of stay hands off, then I guess you get the benefit of the money, more money made from the transactions of the games and stuff, but like you also get less games made.
Why would you get less games made?
Because you're not licensing it out to all these other parties at that point.
Oh yeah, I guess.
So, like right now, there's so many damn games, and like EA wouldn't be capable of making all of those at once, right? But right now, they're licensing Ubisoft, Skydance, or EA. Disney has Indiana Jones. They got also whatever else this other licensed game is from Xbox. Plus, they have Spider-Man for PlayStation, and I mean, there's just like so many different things. Like, and if they own EA, and they decide, hey, let's just focus on this. They're gonna get some, but not as many as they would licensing it. And the question for them is like, is the licensing deal that they're taking place, is that more beneficial for them than the cost and return on investment that making the games from EA would be if that's all you did, right? So I mean, they get the benefit of also all the other IPs and everything that EA owns as well, right? So that's a factor, but it's I think it'd be a gamble that I don't know if they should make. They've tried gaming several times before and not
Yeah.
really done great. You know, like they've made some good games, but they've always quit. So I would be kind of nervous if Disney ended up buying like a
Yeah,
push like EA.
it's not like I would prefer EA to stay
Yeah.
like independent, but I mean, if they have to go to somewhere like Disney's not the worst option.
It's not the worst, but it's by far from the best. I think.
Yeah.
Like it's close to being one of the worst. I mean, at least they're like going to be a multi-platform type situation, most likely, and all those kind of things. But like at the end of the day, it's like I don't trust them to run a gaming company like very well. Now I understand them. I think they're on the right track with what they're doing now, honestly. Because they're going to have some hits and they're going to have some misses. The problem is when they see a hit, they're like, oh, we wish we made that game. Right? And it's like, well, you only got that because you were willing to work with all these partners, right? And so I'm wondering what's going to happen when Star Wars Outlaws comes out. Like at that point, would they see like, oh, maybe Ubisoft is a better acquisition because that game is probably better than the Jedi games, and we also can buy them for a lot less money.
The thing is, though, like EA is so like they have so many fucking Disney properties under EA. Like they have the old Republic MMO, they have the fucking 5 Respawn games that are in the works and have come out. They have the 2 Marvel games. They have the mobile game for Star Wars. Like EA is heavily Disney-fied already with a lot of their projects.
Yeah.
So it's like they could stop. I guess they would have to stop paying. I guess EA pays like royalties or some shit on that. But
yeah, I see RSJ fans saying I wouldn't mind seeing Disney taking Spider-Man from Sony Interactive Entertainment. Like Disney still owns the game rights. The Sony just has the movie rights, and they actually got with Insomniac. So we can blame Disney and Marvel games as much as anybody for Spider-Man being exclusive on PlayStation, because they are the ones that went to Insomniac and PlayStation, and they all worked all that deal out together. Like, so as far as Disney's concerned, like they don't care if games are exclusive or not right now, right? Maybe if it was
Indiana
their own,
Jones, Spider-Man.
maybe there's a point there that if it yeah, Indiana Jones is another good example, right? Maybe there's a good point there though if like they owned the franchises, owned these games, right, and were the publisher of them themselves, maybe they would care at that point, right? I don't know. It's interesting. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with it, but I don't think it's the best thing for a lot of those brands to do exclusives. You know, Spider-Man on one platform is just kind of dumb. I've always thought so. You have PC and Xbox fans, like everything. The game should be everywhere, but it is what it is. But yeah, it'd be crazy, man. If Disney bought EA, I never really thought about the possibility of that before, but we know it's at least been talked about internally at Disney. So that's the interesting thing. So you're making fun of me earlier for watching Blue Beetle, Jasper.
Yeah.
Why?
The movie looks like fucking Spy Kids level shit.
Have you seen the Blue Beetle Psycho?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I've not, unfortunately, haven't had the time to
Unfortunately.
purchase that. Unfortunately, I haven't had the time.
So I watched 2 movies, and we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about these, and we'll get into the horror discussion.
The horror discussion.
The horror, the scary movie discussion. There you go. So I did see Blue Beetle. I didn't have high expectations. I had low expectations. But, people said it was good. People that were talking about it online, stuff like that. So I kind of went into it just thinking like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go and watch this movie and see how it is. I will say going into it with like low to zero expectations for it being a decent movie, I was I was pleasantly surprised. It was actually like entertaining all the way through. It it was pretty funny. Like the action was good. Like it had a good, pretty. I mean, it was a generic story. It was very generic as far as that stuff goes. But like acting was good. Like I felt like it was a solid movie, dude. Like it could have passed as a decent superhero movie in the MCU or anything, and I think it would have been fine. Like that movie was pretty
Yeah, I
solid.
heard that it just copied the entire plot of Ant-Man 1.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot there with that, there's like another robot guy that,
And he
but
kidnaps his daughter, and then the
also
dude,
there's
like,
some twist with that and some interesting things, it's not necessarily exactly Ant-Man, but there is a lot from the story of Ant-Man. I the aspect of him, the one big main difference between this movie and Ant-Man is like he chose to wear the suit in Ant-Man, right? And that was a choice for him to use that and stuff like that, right? Whereas in Blue Beetle, it's like, what the hell happened to me, in that kind of situation, and that kind of creates a different dynamic and a feel for it. So I gotta say, I would recommend watching it. You can wait till it hits Max or whatever. It may be there now for all I know. But it was a fun movie. I'm not gonna say it's like an 8 out of 10 or anything like that, but like it was worth a watch. It's fun.
the only way I'll watch this movie is if I get it free from like some kind of gifts or some shit. Like, with the purchase of this game, you got a free gift, and here it is. It's the movie Blue Beetle. You can watch it if you want. Like, that's the only way I'm gonna watch this, if it's literally given to me for free.
Okay, fair enough. I'll say it has like an anime vibe to it as well, like with some of the way the scenes are shot and the stories told. It kind of reminds me of like it's like a little bit of anime stuff, some like anime stories and shows that I've seen. So I liked it though, man. The dialogue between it's got some Iron Man vibes there too, but like in a different way. Like there's like a voice with him in the suit, right? And there's like a dialogue back and forth. Fucking, that was really good. Great, a good movie. Surprisingly, I was actually surprised. I thought it was gonna be trash. No reaction.
I don't believe you. From what I've seen, it still looks like utter garbage.
That's fine. It's just an opinion. It's just my opinion.
I'll definitely wait when it comes out to Max, but outside of that, I ain't spending 25 bucks they want to rent it right now. I'm like, no thanks.
Just to buy it, yeah. But yeah.
No, to rent.
No, you can. It's to buy. I didn't rent it. I bought it.
I know, but I'm just saying, to rent, it's like 25.
But it's the same price to buy.
Purchase.
So why the fuck would you rent it for the same price as buying it?
Because then I own it. I don't want to own it.
Okay, whatever. So anyway, like I'm just saying, whenever it comes available, it's worth a watch. If you want to watch it, fine. If you don't want to watch it, whatever. Like I thought it was a fine movie. I'm not saying it was the best movie out there, or whatever, but it was pretty good, right? So it was fun. It was fun.
The next movie that you watched I have more interest in it than Blue Beetle. I'll say that.
Okay, so the next, we'll get into that because, since y'all had so little interest in Blue Beetle and just are judging it very immaturely up front without any kind of.
It looks like fucking some kind of Shark Boy Lava Girl bullshit from the trailer.
It's not. It's not like that. It's not like Kitty like that and stuff. It feels honestly like another like superhero like origin story movie. It's pretty good. There is the other movie I did watch was Gran Turismo. And I got to tell you, I had even lower expectations for this one. The trailers I saw for it never did anything for me. I was not really looking forward to it but it got decent reviews, and I love Gran Turismo as well. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch the movie and see what it's like. So I watched Gran Turismo. Going into Gran Turismo, the beginning of it, I was like, oh, this is everything I was hoping it wouldn't be, because it was like a Gran Turismo commercial, pretty much. Just like, I understand for the casual audience, like watching it that doesn't really know what Gran Turismo is or anything like that. They kind of like are describing it and overselling how great, even though I do like Gran Turismo, how great Gran Turismo is and how significant it is and how important it is. There's a lot of that early on, right? Which I was like, that was kind of overkill. And at first I was like, oh God, this is what this is just a fucking glorified Gran Turismo commercial is all this is, right? Like, that's what I was thinking at the beginning. Then the story started happening.
I thought it was more like kind of how like they always do like the Elvis movies. It's like that fake kind of like where it's like a real story, but they like kind of play it up and it's like fake. It's obviously not the real people or whatever. It's like those kind of fake movies where they tell a true story, but they just play it up. So that's what
So I didn't know what it was based on, really. I knew that it was based on like, the GT Academy stuff, but I didn't know it was really based on like this one guy who's a real person.
Yeah.
Right. And the main character plays a guy named Jan something. I can't remember the last name, but he's a real racer. Right. And he actually did do the GT Academy thing. He actually did go through and then do all this stuff and then go on to have he's still doing it today, I believe, like a long, great racing career. Right. So I didn't find that out till during the movie. I was like, oh, this is actually like really like based on real stuff.
Wait, you didn't know that?
That it was like the actual kid. I knew it was about GT Academy, but I didn't know there was actually somebody that actually had that kind of success from after that.
Oh, I thought that's like
I had no idea.
Okay.
No, I mean, I knew the movie was going to set that up. I didn't know how that it was actually based on a real person that actually had that success. Like, I didn't know the person was real.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was just like, oh, let's tell the story about like racers and stuff, like, and then maybe like kind of use like names because some of them have had success, some of them haven't, and just kind of tell the story of a driver that's has success after GT Academy. But I didn't know it was based on somebody who actually did have this actual success and they actually told his story. Like, this was his story, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I thought that's like why everyone cared about the Gran Turismo movie, because it was like telling the story of the guy that went through the academy.
I just thought everybody cared about it because it was based on Gran Turismo. Anyway, so I live under a rock, confirmed. Yeah, it's like Jan what's his name? Gotta get it right. Jan Mardenborough. And like, so the kid that played Jan, I thought did a good job. Play as like a regular kid, that's like. Anyway, so past the opening shit, getting into the movie, I was watching it and I'm like, okay, it's getting better, telling a good story, like getting better, telling a good story. The GT Academy whole thing was like pretty cool and a ton of good story. Like, David Harbour was really good in it. And then it ended up turning into just a really great racing movie. Like, one of my favorite racing movies I've ever watched. 100%. Kate was watching it with me too. She absolutely fucking loved it also. Great racing movie. Now it tells a story kind of we've seen before, that with racing movies, but the way it's told with this, like, it's actually really fucking good, and it's got like good racing in it, and like it's a really great racing movie, dude. Like, and
yeah, I saw the only part I saw of it is I think IGN or someone put out like a 10 or 15 minute uncut version of it, like just the part where he's like the kid like signs up for the GT thing gets chosen. Like they show like him going all the way through the GT Academy until he's like on the cutting block, and then it like kind of ends the clip. So I've seen like 10 or 15 minutes of it, but
and the GT Academy stuff's like one part of it. It's not like it's just like, you know, it's the lead up to get there. Then there's that part, and then there's the like events that took place after that, and there's the culmination. Like, and it really like paints. I didn't know it was going to paint so much of a picture after the GT Academy stuff, right? About everything that, and that's where the movie really starts taking off, right? There's typical racing movie type stuff in it that we've seen before in other racing movies, right? But this actually did happen to him. It didn't happen at the same time of events, like, because I looked it up after. Like, there's things that happened to Jan that are in this movie that are based on reality that actually took place later in his racing career, but for the sake of the movie, they kind of changed the timeline of the things.
Yeah,
that
that's what I was saying. It was like
right.
the movies they always do for like the music artists like Queen and Elvis and shit, where it's like based on like real stuff, but they always kind of dramatize it or play it and move shit around to like make it a better movie.
Yeah, they changed the timeline of events.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if something happened to the kid like 7 years later, right? That was eventful and impactful. You know, they included it, you know, in this shorter timeline to tell a bigger story, right? So, but it played out well. I mean, they did a really good job. And then I didn't, you know, realize, you know, obviously the director was Neil Blomkamp, who's a great director as well. So it kind of made sense why the movie was so good afterwards. And I gotta say, dude, it was fantastic. I wish I would have seen it at the theaters. Awesome movie. Without the little bit of cringy overselling of like Gran Turismo, like stuff like early on, you know, that was a little cringe. Orlando Bloom's character was a little annoying and over the top. David Harbour was amazing, and the kid that played Jan was absolutely fantastic also. So highly recommend. Highly recommend. That's different than Blue Beetle. I say Blue Beetle's good. I recommend it if you're interested in a fun movie or whatever. But this is like really, really good. And Kate actually loved it too. She was
the part I saw, like I thought about buying it and watching it, but I was like, I'm not buying that movie.
Yeah, so. That's fine. You know, it'll be on eventually it'll be on Sony's PS Premium. Anonymous Boss.
Yeah, in 20 years on the PlayStation 6, that's when you'll get it.
Yeah, probably so. Anonymous Boss with the 5 says, "Where are those magic cookies, Mav? P.S. Imagine if Microsoft comes out of nowhere 2024 and releases a crazy trailer for Halo 6. Oh man, crazy. Yeah, that would be crazy. We'll see if that happens. I doubt it. Anyway, yeah, Gran Turismo was great. You interested in that movie at all, Psycho? Do you like racing movies?
I do, but this did not scream at me at all. Like, I love Ford versus Ferrari. You know, I mean, I like, you know, Gone in 60s. So I like car movies, but
did you like Days of Thunder? Or
that was okay.
Talladega Nights.
Talladega. Now that's a movie.
That was actually playing downstairs earlier today.
But no, it's one of those like outside of being, you know, the PlayStation game, it has nothing to do with it. It just like that trailer just did not like captivate me to go out and see this movie. Maybe watching it would be different, but
I was the same way. We honestly kind of watched it because we were looking for something new to watch, and you know, like it had decent scores and stuff, and like they just don't put out a lot of new movie releases anymore. It seems like I don't know what it is, but it seems like there's so few like actual like good quality big movie releases these days. So we just like went ahead and got it and watched it, and we're like pleasantly surprised. 100%. Did the same thing with Blue Beetle. I ended up watching by myself because I wanted to see it just because it's a superhero movie, right? But yeah, the Gran Turismo surprised me, bro. I think you would like it, Psycho.
Yeah, I'll give it a whirl when it comes out, but
When it comes out, it's out.
When it comes
like
to
on
streaming service or something, yeah.
the streaming service, yeah. No, I'm not waiting for it to come on TV like Jasper. He was like, I want to see it on ABC.
I don't have cable, so I couldn't watch it there anyway.
Yeah. Hulu.
Poison Maniac says, I don't care for racing movies. Twisted Metal any good? I started the Twisted Metal show. It's stupid. I watched the first episode. I couldn't get into it. It was like not funny. It was too over the top, too corny. I just wasn't into it at all. It didn't even the way Anthony Mackie, like, his character was just dumb. I didn't like his character in it. Didn't make me want to root for him or anything. I just was like, this guy's a moron, so I don't really care to watch it. I like him much better as Falcon. So anyway, yeah, but a lot of people love it. A lot of people love Twisted Metal, so it's just not for me. Moving on, horror movie season, guys. It's October. We got up the Halloween decorations. You know, we're all set to go. And somebody, I think it was the Eastside Vandal, had made a suggestion for us to maybe watch a horror movie and talk about it on closer to Halloween. They said each week, but didn't really want to do that. So thinking, what if we pick a movie, a horror movie, and then we watch it like the week of Halloween, which would be what would the date be? For Tuesday before Halloween.
31st.
Is it actually the 31st? Is Halloween the 31st?
Monday's the 30th. Tuesday is the 31st.
Okay, so Tuesday is actually Halloween. Are y'all busy on Halloween night?
Yeah, I'm gonna go trick or treating.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jasper's dressing up. He's gonna put a sheet over himself and go as a ghost.
I mean, we could have some fun and do like oh, what the hell? We could have some fun and do like a scary movie talk that night on FunPop if y'all wanted to. Or y'all could go trick or treating. It's up to you guys.
What's that one Adam Sandler fucking Netflix movie?
Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, I love that.
I think
movie.
the bigger
I don't know why.
Are you busy because you actually have a child?
Well, she's gonna go trick or treating with her friends. So.
Oh, okay.
Isn't she a little too old?
No, I mean, man, these kids these days trick or treat up into high school, man.
Yeah, I look at those kids and I'm like, get the F on my lawn, kid.
No, she just turned 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, they're
it's
gonna
their last year.
They're gonna go as Powerpuff Girls.
Which one is she? Is she going as Blossom, Buttercup, or Bubbles?
No clue yet. I don't think they've decided. But it's gonna be her and two other friends are gonna be going, and they're gonna eat.
Are you gonna be the dad that spilt the chemicals?
No, she's gonna be walking with their crew, so I'll be at home probably doing the show.
Who's gonna be Mojo Jojo?
Yeah, I was gonna be like, maybe you could be Mojo Jojo.
But so maybe we all have to dress up for FunPop. How'd you guys feel about that?
I got a Master Chief helmet I can throw on.
Yeah, I'm dressed up right now. I'm dressed up as an avatar.
So scary movies. What subscription services do you guys have?
Netflix, Disney, Hulu, Max.
Yeah, I got Netflix.
Paramount.
So Jasper, you just have Netflix and Disney?
Yeah. I mean, I can buy whatever
Peacock.
movie and like rent whatever movie.
Right. So, what are y'all wanting to watch? Like a newer movie, you think, or an older movie, classic? Let's vote for let's let the chat vote. Like new horror movie or classic? Because the thing is, a lot of the classics we've already seen, so it's kind of like
I've seen almost all of them. Like I don't know. If we go new,
There's like a
movies.
50-50 chance I've seen it. I've seen like some older ones and some new ones. So like, there's like a 50
I've seen
chance I've
all
probably
of the like the Conjurings and Annabelles, and then I've seen those all.
Okay.
I have one movie I think I have not seen was it is it not Omen, the little kid, is it
Oh,
Omen?
Megan or whatever.
No, not the baby, the doll babysitter, not that. No, it was like, I think it was Omen. It was like a little kid that's demonic.
Omen, yeah, it's Omen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That one I have not.
There's
not
there's
seen.
also a movie series called The Orphan or something with a girl. That's really good. The first one is at least.
I've seen all the Chuckies though, Ray.
Did you see where in Mexico they arrested Chucky?
What?
Someone had a Chucky doll, and the Chucky doll had a knife in it, so the police had an arm standoff with fucking Chucky.
That's hilarious.
So
what do you? Okay, how about this? Why don't you do couple polls? What like time frame? Like the 2020s, 2010s, like 90s, 80s. So kind of. So let's go like 80s, 90s, 2000, and then the last half, like so 2010 would be like the last part, because I don't think there's really been too many horror movies like 2023. So we can add those couple years.
Okay. So
let's do those four categories and kind of go from there.
What decade movie, horror, scary movie do we watch?
Yeah, because I watched Friday the 13th last night.
The thing is that the older ones are going to be hard, you know.
They're on Max.
So, like, you want to say like 80s? We not go back into the.
You know, I haven't seen the new thing.
That's a good one.
The new
I
what?
liked it.
The new thing? I saw the old thing, but I never saw the new one.
I liked the new one.
I didn't really like the new one, to be honest.
I liked it. I liked it how they set it up to tie in the movie, so it's good.
I'll say before 80s. I'm trying to figure out how to do this poll because there's too many decades, bro.
We'll just do the 8, because like if you start getting to like the 70s, man, that shit. I can't.
2000s, 2010s,
80s, 90s,
ups, and 90s.
2000 and 2010, and that will carry over the.
Do all the 2000s and then the 90s.
2010, and then will be.
I got it.
2010 to 20, and then we can just add
2, 3, 2, 3, 9, 7.
Okay. I got it. Okay, I got 4 options. Before the 80s. 80s to 2000s.
Jesus Christ.
That gets the 80s and 90s. Like, okay. And then.
Why you gotta make this so complicated?
And then
how are we gonna watch stuff before the 80s? How are you gonna watch the stuff before the 80s?
That shit's available
you just
everywhere.
Put it on your TV. Yeah.
Yeah, you can usually.
Mav's gonna get like Shutter. What was that? Shutter, and he's gonna give his password out.
I mean, keep in mind, chat. We want to be able to have a discussion with you guys too about whatever movie is picked.
That's what I'm saying. So before the 80s is not going to be an easy one. Like 80s and 2000, that's like so broad.
It's just the 80s to the 90s. 80s and 90s.
Dude,
20 years.
But that's like almost where all the movies are.
Are they? Are all of them in the 80s?
The good ones from like 2000s to 20.
I mean, that's why you have most of your horror classics. That's the point of me doing that. And then you have your more modern ones or 2000s, like 2020.
We're gonna like the chat's gonna be like, oh, do fucking Frankenstein. I ain't watching that shit.
So we only have 5 votes, so we're not gonna get accurate results on this thing.
Right. Come on, chat. I know there's 40 of you in here.
I don't know how shitty of a movie you want to watch, but they did just make a new Toxic Avenger.
Oh my god, dude.
That's not a horror movie. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, because I was gonna be like, okay, we're gonna go with like classic B-roll type movies.
Because like anything like before the 80s is pretty shit.
We watched Jim Bob and his or Elvira. Oh, them titties.
We should
James
find
Elvira.
an underrated movie, and I'll watch it in the next week so we can discuss it. Here's a good-looking list. We can watch the trailers together and pick one. LifestyleAsia.com. What, this sounds like a this sounds like a porn site or something. Calorie, what are you sending me? Let me click on this link.
You like this one for a adult film?
This is like a vacation like website. The 15 of the most underrated horror films that will keep you up all night.
I don't want to be up all night now.
Okay. So,
which Pet Cemetery, Talos? The old Steamy King ones or the new shitbox one?
Marrowbone, Dead Snow, The House That Jack Built, The Midnight Meat Train.
Ooh, that you sure like you're not on a website?
It has Bradley Cooper in it.
I mean, maybe he's down on his luck and needs money.
There's Oculus. I have never seen Oculus. Have y'all seen Oculus?
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It was a movie that was pretty popular that one year, and a lot of people liked it. Have you seen Oculus, Psycho?
No, I thought you were talking about the Meta Quest.
No, has anybody in the chat seen Oculus?
I like Seven Sign.
Well, we don't want to pick a movie you like because then
that one's back in the I was young when I watched that and that scared the shit out of me.
Game Shark says one. Oculus sucks. The Quest is better. What's the Quest?
I think that's 3? The headset.
Oh, he's joking. Okay, all right.
It says Oculus is free on Pluto and Tubi, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And YouTube. It says it's free on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube for free.
It has the synopsis. Well, does this? Okay. Kaylee Russell is on a mission to absolve her brother who is arrested for murdering their family. Desperate to prove his innocence, she hatches a plan to show that the ominous happenings that had befallen the family were the doings of an evil antique mirror. As time bends on itself and high tension grapples the viewers with every passing minute, the final act unearths the daunting secrets of the family. Does that sound intriguing? No reaction. Okay.
I mean, I don't really give a shit. I'll watch straight trash for 2 hours if we need to talk about it.
All right. What about Malevolent? Has the chat seen Malevolent? Have either of y'all seen Malevolent?
I have not.
Is that the one with Angelina Jolie?
No, it has Florence Pugh in it.
Gesundheit? What? Who?
The new Black Widow.
Oh. I don't think so.
So that's on this list too. Yeah, Malevolent, 2018. Sibling duo.
No, Malevolent. Jesse B says nope.
What's wrong with Malevolent?
Is it like too scary for him or some shit? I don't know.
Is it too scary, Jesse?
Hey, how about Faces of Death?
Oh my god, no.
Well,
Malevolent got a 4.8 on IMDb.
It got a
chat
what?
Says 80s to
4.8.
Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad.
So
we're doing really bad at picking something, guys.
Great Horror movies.
Well, you said you want to watch something new, so it's or like something you haven't seen before, so it's kind of hard to
that's the thing with the 80s to the 2000s. It's like I've seen everything, you know. And I want it to be a horror movie, not like, you know, like weird scenario movie, just like a horror movie. I want it to be like it needs to be like either a hack or slash type film, or like or a ghost movie. Yeah. Needs to be like paranormal, or like or a slasher film, or gore fest, or you know, something, you know, along those lines. So it fit in the like the Conjuring, or like a Friday the 13th, or like a Jason, you know, or that is the same thing. Halloween. You know what I mean? Like ask chat GB Freddy versus Jason. I've seen it. We've seen like we're looking for something we haven't seen, guys. Oh, you haven't seen it, Jesse? Okay.
Is there like maybe a short show or series that something you could think of? It's like maybe a 6-episode thing that you can watch real quick.
There was a great horror series on Netflix last year called Fear Street.
Oh yeah,
that was really good.
I mean,
but I've seen that.
That wasn't really horror though, either. I mean, I guess it was, but it's like still like.
Yeah, it is, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. Aliens count as horror, kind of too. Like some.
Yeah,
I would
say it does.
There is a new Alien movie out on Netflix, I think, about like an abduction type thing. No, it's what is the new movie that just came out? It's about aliens. It's on Netflix. It's a horror movie. Alien horror movie.
Well, I'm sure you'll find it that way.
Well, have you seen They Live?
It's very familiar.
It's the Attack of the Body Snatchers.
God, what is this?
I've never seen
Chad,
that.
help me out. There's a Netflix new movie on Netflix. Or maybe it was Hulu. Alien horror movie. It's brand new.
The Fog?
No, it's not The Fog. It's literally about like the little gray alien guys. Alien horror movie 2023. Okay, let's see. The fact that it's hard to find, No One Will Save You. It's called No One Will Save You. Yeah.
About the Halloween.
What about Halloween?
Howling?
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 What is Howling?
Howling?
It's a movie.
It's the thing that werewolves do.
It's a movie from the 80s.
Okay, this is on Hulu. You have Hulu, Jasper?
Yeah, I got Disney Plus.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna play this trailer. I'm gonna do a YouTube thing. Share. Or actually, can you do it? Like, can you share the YouTube thing? No One Will Save You for a trailer.
Is it the Moviegasm one?
Moviegasm?
That's the YouTube channel that had it. That I saw the trailer for it.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I saw it on a website. No One Will Save You is meh. Okay. Well, maybe we would like it. American
I was looking for a career where I can make a difference in people's lives and advance my own. I found it in emergency medical service.
Okay, here we go.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, ready.
You ready, Psycho?
I'm ready.
Okay. Oh my God. Kick it in the nuts.
What if it doesn't have nuts? Ow!
Damn, got hit by a door.
Okay, I think we've seen enough.
Oh, you spooked out?
Two different people in the chat said they'd seen this movie and it was mad.
I mean, aren't all fucking horror movies kind of mean?
That's true. Well, like Calorie just put one in the chat that called Barbarian that was really good. Saw it last year. But even that was at the end of the day, like still like, what's a fucking horror movie that stays with you, like the original Conjuring or something like that? You know, like man, I haven't seen The Nun. Have y'all seen The Nun?
No.
Have you seen The Nun?
I'm gonna say no.
Chat,
have you seen The Nun?
Have y'all? What do y'all think of The Nun? I would watch The Nun. That's kind of like a classic.
Yeah.
It follows that like the Conjuring like path, you know. Settled. Def Leppard says The Nun is good. Hey, let's watch The Nun. Kate wants to watch The Nun. Yeah.
Fuck, I just closed out your stream.
So there's more than one of them too. So if we like it, we can watch the second one.
The second Nun?
Yeah.
There's Nun 2?
Yeah, there's a Nun 2.
When does the priest get involved?
The third one. That's the
When
real.
the altar boys come into the picture.
That's the real horror movie, right? All right. So The Nun. Y'all down for that?
Wait, is this the only? Where the fuck can you watch? Oh, it's $20 to rent. Jesus Christ.
What, The Nun?
Oh wait, that's The Nun 2.
Yeah, no, The Nun should be somewhere.
Yeah, Nun 2 just came out, I think.
Yeah.
The Nun. What was it? Just watch.
Where's The Nun? It's got to be somewhere.
Max, Hulu with Max,
Amazon.
and Apple.
Direct
Is it on?
TV.
Yeah. $3.99
Yeah.
to rent.
Yeah.
$3.99.
Yeah, $3.99 or on Amazon and Max. I got both of those.
Well, it's probably Max via Amazon, or
It's Amazon via Max and then Hulu with Max.
okay. So it's just saying Max. It's on
Yeah.
Max. Yeah.
And then Apple TV, if you have Apple TV, you can rent it there, it seems.
Yeah. $3.99.
Yeah.
You're willing to make the sacrifice, Jasper?
I probably have enough Amazon or Google credits that I don't have to actually give a shit about it.
Right on. Calorie says it's free on Tubi with ads.
Oh, okay.
Right on. Nice. So also like, yeah, well, I'll check out that trailer for that other one for next week, maybe, Calorie. Yeah, so next week we'll give our thoughts on The Nun.
So we're watching The Nun from now until next. FunPop.
Yeah, anytime you want to watch it between now and next FunPop, go for it, and then we'll talk about The Nun, and then we'll pick another movie next week. Sound like fun?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll do this each week of October.
Spend 30 minutes of a show just going
Well,
through
it creates a
movies.
horror movie
I know.
discussion, so at least. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for the show, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and call it tonight. Hey, and watch The Nun with us, chat. Come back next week. Take part in the conversation. We'll have some fun. Psycho, tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. It's fantastic to see all your smiling faces, even though I can't see you. But you can find me on all social medias, Psychonauts 8. Here, Mondays, FSP, 10 o'clock, where we talk about all 3 consoles, and mostly not shitting on PlayStation. And Tuesdays, FunPop and Xbox Ultimate, where we talk about the greatest box known to man.
Yeah, right on, man. Have a good one, Psycho. Thanks, bro.
What's a weird outro?
No. Jasper, where can everybody find you?
Yo, check it out. Lore Jasper at Twitter, Lore Master Jasper, YouTube, all that fun stuff. I just applied for YouTube Partner Program today, so that's awesome. Thank you for the subs, people out there. And yeah, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, right here, 10 o'clock on the Fun Speculation Network with FSP, FunPop, and Xbox Ultimate. That's where I'm at. That's what I do. Check it out. Have fun. I'll be streaming on the 12th for the Star Trek game, and then in the morning, I'll be streaming again for Call of Duty beta. So. Got some stuff coming up.
Cool. Thank you for watching the show, chat. You guys rock. And we'll be back on Thursday for PM and the PM with Pong Soul and I, and then Fridays for Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Have a good one. Peace out, everybody. Take it easy.